Either it was my big Irish great-grandmother. I was quite a shy, very small boy, and I went into the mortuary and just fainted.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Judge Reviews podcast, the show where a superstar sit in a hot seat and tell their story. Before we dive in, big shout out to the legends who keep the show cooking: Steak Lounge and Grill, Figo's, Halal Kebab House keeping it halal, Three Brothers having the finest burgers, and Uber Lettings, your HMO specialists. Okay, so today's guest has spent over 40 years making people's homes look better, which basically means he walks into somebody's house, their pride and joy, looks around and tells them it looks shite.
It's a designer term.
From a young lad in Glasgow and Paisley to London, international design, STV, Taggart, Better Homes, This Morning, The Hour, and of course 60 Minute Makeover. He's built John Amabile name into a brand, and in 2026 he's entering another chapter with John Amabile Design School. John, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Did I get your surname right?
Absolutely perfect.
Oh shit, I was so worried.
I know. I've spent my life answering to all sorts. People originally thought it was maybe Irish O'Mably. The best I ever got was a letter addressed to Miss Jane Ambulance. Wrong on every
That's
front.
hilarious.
I know. It still got to me though.
Amabile. It's definitely unique.
It is.
So I'm assuming that comes from some Italian heritage.
Yeah, it's an Italian noun. It's a naming word, and it's amiable.
Okay.
Amiable is the English word amabile.
Right.
So if you swap the I, the amabile means amiable. So it means likable, lovable, and if it's with wine or a food, it means it's sweet.
Okay.
True, isn't it?
Yeah, nice. Love that. Amabile. Yeah. I always knew who you were, but when I was doing my research and I seen your last name, I goes, I better watch some clips to see how you say it. And then I got it. But tell us more about what's it like being Italian these days, or what was it like being Italian when you were growing up?
Well, because it's so far back, it was my great-grandfather moved to Scotland, Glasgow in the late 1800s.
Wow.
And married an Irish woman, and they had 12 children.
12?
12 children. One was my grandpa. He had 4 children. One was my dad. He had 2. One's me. So it goes quite far back. So I haven't really had an Italian heritage, because when my grandpa became a UK citizen, he wasn't Italian anymore. So there was a little bit of a cultural divide. So it's taken me maybe to my last 5-10 years where I've started to dig a little bit deeper. So I've always felt Italian.
Yeah.
And I've always probably looked a little bit Italian and have an Italian name. So it's something I'm very proud of, but I'm very proud to be Scottish.
Yeah. You definitely got that Italian flair, especially being in design.
Well, do you know, a lot of people said that maybe that helped. So maybe there's something in the genes, something in the genetics.
Yeah.
Either it was my big Irish great-grandmother.
I suppose that can come out sometimes. Right, John, so growing up, for people that don't know you or might only know you from TV, what was it like growing up as a young lad?
Do you know, I was quite a shy, very small boy, probably a little bit bullied at school because I probably looked like a wee girl until I was 12, until the hormones kicked in. So I was quite a shy boy, and I was always into my art and drawing. Equally, I quite enjoyed a little bit of acting, singing and dancing as well. So I was a little bit, on one side, quite precocious, on the other side, a little bit arty and flighty. So I've always had a sort of an artistic, I've not really been very sporty. The only position I could probably comfortably play would be the mascot. And even now, in anything to do with sports, I say I'm purely decorative. So I can appreciate it, but I'm not really built for sport. So growing up, I would say in the 60s and 70s was a good time. certainly very different from growing up in today's age. But I wouldn't have changed it because I've got some great memories of growing up with all my family, great holidays. I've still got my parents who are doing really well at 86. My brother lives in Germany with his wife and my 2 nieces and my great niece now. So I wouldn't have changed it because I think things were more real. Whereas I think everything's so throwaway these days. And I don't want to sound like, oh, the good old days, oh, the good old days. Because there were a lot of horrible times as well for everybody. But for me, I think growing up then and who I've become and how it created me was the best time to be born.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people will think that when they think back to their time, the memories and what shaped them. Speaking of things that shaped you, so in your household, what did your parents do and how did those things mould you?
Well, my dad he's retired now, but he was an electrician and he worked for CWS, who were the Cooperative Wholesale Society, very big in Scotland, very big all around the UK. They were the real hub before like corner shops and things like that, the big societies, and you could save, they were like society community centres. And my dad was down in Ayrshire putting a new lighting system into the co-op building, and my mum was working in the co-op, and that's how they met. So the cooperative created me. I'm the co-op. Free stamps and everything.
That's so funny, man. I love it, but it's like a proper kind of fairy tale love marriage, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know, and it was just purely by chance. My dad could have gone to put any lighting system or any electrical power into any place all around Scotland, but something brought them together. My mum grew up in a place called New Mills in the Irvine Valley down in Ayrshire. So, but she always had aspirations to leave and do something more with her life rather than stay in the village.
Yeah.
So they met in 62, got engaged in 63 and got married in 63, 61, 62, 63, and I was born in 64.
Nice. So your dad had a spark and your mum lit him up.
That's it. She had that spark. And my mum always really fancied Italian men. And my dad he looked a bit like Robert De Niro when he was a good-looking guy.
Nice.
Still is. But, he just thinks so anyway. But you still got a moustache. He still looks like Robert De Niro. He still looks Italian, you know. And I think they had that chemistry. And Mum loved then coming up to Glasgow, and their first flat is only about 10 minutes drive from where we're sitting just now. So I grew up until I was 5, not far from here.
Nice. And speaking of where you grew up, how do you think that area has changed? I mean, do you ever visited it recent times?
I've not been there. A lot of my friends who were buying flats tended to buy around that area because you got really good property for a good price. And I think of it as, in that time, and we spoke earlier about the Italians coming in, the Spanish coming, it was a very multicultural society, an environment. And then with Indians and Pakistanis coming in, Italian, Spanish, a lot of Jewish people come in. Miriam Margolyes, the famous comedian, her family originally from the Gorbals and Govan Hill as well. So I like to think it was a nice big melting pot of culture. And probably even though I was 5 when I left there before we moved further over, I don't know, I just feel, and even now when I come back here, I just like seeing all the different kind of shops and different cultures, different people, and I'm very drawn to that. I think that's, in my job, it's all about meeting people and communicating, especially if I'm trying to get money out of them, spend money. They've got to, it's a trust thing. You've got to be on my side. You've got to trust me to know that I'm going to turn your room into the best look it could ever be. Yeah.
Speaking of, so you're obviously a creative person, you've got an eye, which is why you probably like seeing all these different things. So when you were young, at which point did you realize you were creative? I mean, did you go down other routes before you fell into the traffic jam you went in?
No, I was always drawing. I used to go to the local shop, and the woman who used to slice the cold meat. I used to always say, "Can I have 4 slices of spam, please?" Luncheon meat, I think you called it, spam. Or cold meat or gammon. And I would always say, "Can I have an extra bit of the tracing paper because I'm going to do some brass rubbing and do some drawings on it." So even then, I used to get that and then do rub coins or do drawings or tracings. And I was just always into doing stuff. I loved making things. And doing puppet shows, and I've just always been creative, and it was my hobby. I could sit for hours and draw and draw and draw and draw, and I think I was lucky that my hobby almost became my job.
Yeah,
Maybe not quite as much fun as I had when I was drawing.
Yeah,
because
you get paid for it now.
I get paid for it now.
So growing up in Paisley, what was it like in Paisley Grammar?
Paisley Grammar was a very good school. It had been a private school, and that's why my mum and dad moved from Cardonald to Ralston, just outside Paisley, because it meant I could go to a better secondary school. So I got taught the private school grammar system, but we were the first comprehensive. And it was a really good school, a good grounding, probably a bit too academic for me, where I was still wanting to draw and watch Brideshead Revisited and be all dreamy and arty. And, I remember when I was picking my studies and they would say, you need to do physics and maths. And I said, listen, it's just not me. It's just not me. I can count 5 cushions. That's all I need.
Cushions. And is this right? I read somewhere that what did they say about 10? You had 10 hours to live. You might only have 10 hours to live.
Yeah.
When you were born.
So I was supposed to be born at the end of July, but for some reason, my mum says it's because I'm still impatient to this day. I was born prematurely. So I was nearly 3 months premature, which in 1964 was very, very dangerous. But on top of that, the pressure of my birth, my stomach burst, so I was born with a condition called osomphlos.
What?
Nowadays, if the baby goes full term, you can poke your tummy back through the belly button, or nowadays you can go in and operate on the fetus before it's born.
Okay.
But because it all happened very, very quickly, I basically was born in the Rotten Row Hospital up near Strathclyde Uni, and the pressure of the birth, I just popped. They wrapped me in tin foil, and by the time my dad got to York Hill Hospital where I was taken over, he said, Mr. Amabile, because they couldn't say Amabile, Mr. Amabile, your son was born with his guts outside his body. He's probably not going to last the night.
What?
And 62 years later, I did last the night.
Wow. Amazing.
So I was very lucky, very, very lucky. Even nowadays, the trauma of the birth, because I saw a surgeon quite recently about getting a scan for different things. And he said, even nowadays, what you went through was a lot. So I was in an incubator for 3 months.
Yeah.
So.
You think about maybe they can handle that now, but going back then, when you think how far medicines came, I was lucky.
Absolutely. And, I tried to find the surgeon, and I found, because I did a lot of work for premature babies and, raise money for funding. And I always say to the mums, do you know your little £1 or £2 bag of sugar that's in your hand there? You think your baby's never going to grow. The appetite does kick in. And I used to always say that to him, because I think it's a bit like what I do now with the design. It's about giving back. And I'm very, very lucky to be here.
Yeah. Oh, amazing story. And you must think all the time, it's a miracle. So you've got a purpose in what you're doing. Yeah.
There was a reason why I survived. And, I just think between that and the creativity side and the path, I've always known roughly what direction I want to go. I wouldn't say so. I think a lot of people think, oh, well, he was arty, then he went on to do this, and he's had a charmed life. But I fought really hard, and I've worked really, really hard for everything I've got. I think that's why I appreciate it all the more.
Yeah, good. Speaking of, your career, so when did art start becoming a career to you?
Well, I think when I'd originally wanted to be a fashion designer, and I didn't get in. And my second choice was interior design. And at that time, the whole design industry was not really about your home. It was about hotels or fabulous restaurants or airport lounges. The home interior design market wasn't what it is now. You kind of went to you went to a department store with your mum and just picked what she had.
Yeah.
So unless you were some high society London designer designing palaces for people who had a lot of money, that market wasn't really there. I was lucky that when I decided to make design a career, that it started to go into a more domestic market, that I could come in to say, well, you did like that hotel, let's try and do that for your own home. Or you did like that nightclub, let's put that into that part of your home there. So I think people's expectations of living and how they wanted to live was escalated because of the new awareness. And I think at that point, I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, because you'd have to be to get the right people that wanted to put money into something like that. So going back, when you were planning to get into design, interior design, what was your first gig? Like, do you remember your first time you made money from it?
When I first made money from it, well, my very first job was at an interior design consultancy behind Harrods in Knightsbridge in London, which sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about the money. My yearly salary was £5,500. So things were pretty tight. This is 1987, so it was still worth more than it is now.
Yeah.
But I had to start at the very bottom, and I had no money. 4 of us shared a flat in Brixton. It was freezing, but we knew we had to get out there and get the experience. So let's say that when I started to make money from it that was more rewarding was when I started in a design consultancy next to the BBC off Oxford Circus called Portland Design Associates, where it was actually funded with a shop fitting company. And I got to design Abu Dhabi International Airport, duty-free lounges, hotels, cruise liners. So within a year from me earning £5,500 and really starving and freezing, got a good job, and I got up the ladder very, very, very quickly down in London.
Okay, so 2 things before we talk about why you progressed fast. The first part of that is for people that want to achieve something, sometimes you need to get your comfort zone and go through the trenches like you did.
Yeah. If I think out of all of the students that I studied with, I think probably people would have thought John won't leave Glasgow, because I was such a homeboy and I loved Glasgow, and I am still a mummy's boy. I love my parents. I love Glasgow. I came back to Glasgow after 7 years of being in London, but I had to push myself, and I knew I would have to push myself out of my comfort zone. And I just watched and listened and learned and put myself up for everything that was going.
And you must have been good then to get things like the Abu Dhabi airport and progressing quick.
Yeah, again, because the company was backed by a shop fitting company, anytime I designed things, I could go downstairs to the setting out department where, you know, time-served draftsmen would show me my table drawn up, scaled 1-to-1, how it would all fit together, how the dovetail joints, how you would send that for epoxy coating resin on some of the steel work, the glass that was needed. So it gave me a really good grounding and understanding of how things actually work. And that's the most important thing as well, because, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't fit, it's no point in doing it. It's just art for art's sake. So without being too restrictive on my design, it gave me a good background. And I was a wee sook. I just sort of went, I'll let John do it. He's a nice boy. Send him to Abu Dhabi.
I suppose you do need to play the game.
Yeah.
As well.
It's all about, you know, and I always say these days, you know, like nobody really talks anymore. And I, like you, clearly like to talk. And I think it's the most important thing in communication for people, for business, for anything to progress who you are in this world. You need to talk and communicate. Don't text me, lift the phone and talk to me. Don't email me, let's meet for a coffee and have a chat. I'm all about this. This for me is essential.
Yeah, I know emails can always come across wrong.
Wow. Well, I do have a good story where I did send somebody a text, a very good client, and they said, "Is that the project complete?" And I thought I'd texted, "Yes, that's it." But I had texted, "Yes, you tit."
You
No.
did.
Luckily, I had a very good relationship with them, and they knew that it was a text mistake.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
a lot of things can be lost in communication.
Yeah. Well, nowadays you can even unsend a text in most phones.
Can you?
Yeah.
That would have been handy.
Yeah.
Although, do you know, she did come back and let me do the rest of her house. So
Good.
she was a very, very good tit.
A good tip. What do you think of voice notes?
Do you know, I like all of these things, and it's a bit like the biggest question for people like me just now is AI, is it going to kill my industry? I don't see it as that. I was initially quite worried about it, but what I do with AI now is I use it for things that will enhance and speed up and clarify and refine what I can do. You still need me to be me.
Of course.
So, but anything like, I mean, I'm never off ChatGPT, you know, for anything.
Yeah.
Should I get out of bed this morning? Yeah. No, have another 5 minutes, John. You deserve it.
A lot of people, when they talk about ChatGPT, they think, oh my God, that's going to replace something, or oh my God, they use that for everything. But it's just a tool. It's only as good as the user that tells it what to do. So it doesn't matter.
As long as, you know, a lot of people, I could say, show me this room as if it was a Scandinavian log cabin. And it would show me, and yes, it would, but then I would have to say, but I want 3 chairs. I want this one to be softer or darker, or like you still have to be in control. A lot of people are seeing these results and just saying, well, that's the answer. Even if I do use it to generically say, could you show me how that might look, that feature wall there, which is amazing. You know, show me how that wall would look like if we had a floral paper above the picture rail or above the dado rail. Is done. So things that, and even if I'm doing a presentation and I have to break it down into a quotation, it can be done in minutes. And you can say, clarify that. Could you make that a little bit nicer? Could you make sure that they don't know I'm charging them £10,000 extra? They'll think it's value for money. You know, but there's ways in which you can use these tools to your own advantage on all fronts, on all walks of life.
Yeah. So funny, man. So true, but how people use it. You know, we all use it like that. And but did you ever think, was there ever a moment that you thought, you know, I'm just this guy from Glasgow, this wee guy from Paisley, and here I am designing an airport, or I'm on London, you know, on TV. You ever have these pinch me moments?
Do you know, I've constantly had them at different stages of my life and my career. When I moved back from London to start working at Scottish Television, and I was offered my very first Taggart to design, and I was the youngest production designer at Scottish Television, and I did pinch myself thinking, this is really what you always wanted, because I loved set design. I loved looking at a script and working with the director and thinking, well, is it a special effect, or is this someone's home, or working with a locations manager to get the room right to set the scene for the story. I loved all of that, and I did some storyboard drawings as well. You know, the film Shallow Grave. So I worked on Shallow Grave as a storyboard artist. Again, I pinched myself working with Danny Boyle on that. It was just amazing. And I've met so many fascinating people. So I'd say maybe every 3 to 4 years I give myself a wee pinch.
Yeah.
Just to say, right, don't rest in your laurels. What's next? What's next?
Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
People don't, I think a lot of us take for granted when we watch TV that it's not just something that's thrown together. there's thought in every little thing. What you were saying about doing drawings, it's not just, you're actually more to it. You're not just making a picture, you're thinking about different parts, how they function, can it be brought to life?
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, is that?
It's not easy. Sadly, with the way budgets have gone, the set design, they probably inherit an area and dress it rather than build.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless you're doing, when you think of the James Bond movies and the big submarines going through the air, the roof coming off the top of a mountain. More often, and with CGI now, you don't have to spend the money. I mean, even look at what they did in Titanic, which you look at it now and you just think, well, you can tell that's not real. But at the time, I'm thinking, oh my God, that's amazing. So I think from a creative point of view, it's a shame to see not as many actual real builds are created for interiors. And think about even the Saturday morning kids shows. I was just saying that on Saturday morning there when I woke up. Where's our swap shop and Tiswas and Saturday game shows and kids shows and chat shows? There's hardly anything now.
No, we had so many when we were young.
I mean, even sitting here doing this, it's, there's nothing like this on TV. I mean, that's why podcasts are so, that's why you're so popular. Because this is what people want to see. They want to hear and see people sitting, having a good chat and really engaging in something real that's happening.
Yeah. When I was young, I remember every weekend you had, you had no school. That's the one day you would get up early, 9 o'clock. There was a program used to come on, and they used to have X-Men was part of the show, and you knew everything what was coming up next. And it was something. Well, you're right. It's all just YouTube now, isn't it?
Do you know? It's for ease. For most creative companies, sadly, are controlled by money. And I know we all need to make money, but when the money side of things starts to restrict the creativity, that's what I find sad.
So tell us then, how did you end up at STV?
Well, in my 4-year course, you got a chance to go into the industry and get some experience. So in my 3rd year at college, I got to go to Scottish Television, and I was there for 2 months. So I got to see them putting in sets. I worked on a Taggart. I worked on, there's a show called The Steamy, which is still a theatre show now, but STV made that. That would be 1983. Fantastic cast. So I got to see a lot of what goes on behind the scenes. Do you remember Funhouse, the Gunja game? I designed Funhouse as well.
Did?
Yes.
Oh,
So do you know the Gunja games where you had to say it was a butcher shop and you got to batter the meat with the thing.
Yeah.
So all those were my cartoons in the background.
No way.
So I loved doing that. Totally creative. So with my experience there, I thought I would quite like to get into film and TV design. But then I went to London, did the interior design, and then I heard in the late 80s that they were looking for design students to start. So I went back to basics again, moved back to Glasgow, started at the bottom, and then within a year and a half, I had my own Taggart to design.
Wow.
So
a full circle moment.
That was a big pinch moment. Big pinch.
That's a proper
I thought,
TV.
Johnny boy, you've made it.
Aye. But you didn't stop there. I've actually got something here I wrote down about fainting. You kept fainting while researching the forensic side of Taggart.
That's right, yeah. So, gosh, you've done your research. Within Taggart, you had to recreate pathology scenes with Dr. Andrews, and they would be in the pathology lab. So sometimes, towards the end with health and safety, we didn't really use the real lab to recreate it. But to find out how things worked, someone had to go along and just check what props would be needed and take pictures if we had to. And I went into the mortuary and just fainted. So I woke up back in the mortuary reception, went back to work, and she said, well, did you find anything? I said, no, because I fainted. So I had to go back the next day, and I fainted again. So it was just the thought of the bodies and things lying like a jam jar saying Mr. Gibson with something that looked like a wee jar of liver or something. I'm just thinking, oh, boom, boom. But nowadays, you can do research in so many different ways and you recreate things. In fact, when we did actually recreate the mortuary, where you pull out the shelf and the body and the toes are tagged, we actually used a bakery because they had the baker cells, but they were only that deep. So I had to get the prop maker to make me 20 sets of legs just from the knee down. But do you know what I didn't think of? When our legs are like this because we're joined at the hips at the top, because they weren't joined, every time the drawer opened, the legs did this. So I had to go, quick, get me this string, tying the legs together, putting the tag back on the toe. So, funny times. But again, great memories and great people, great act. I just love the whole creative side of watching people act as well. You know, Mark McManus, Blythe Duff, just amazing actors that I still follow today. They're just amazing.
Aye. I know you mentioned Atta earlier. Was he on Taggart, wasn't he?
But much later, because he's a lot younger than me.
Right.
No, I met Atta when we were doing the Scottish Fashion Awards about 16 years ago. And we were both dressed by Ralph Lauren to give an award away. And
nice.
He looked amazing and I looked a lot older and a lot smaller and a lot balder and a lot paler and a lot less attractive.
Oh, well, being harsh on yourself.
So, but he's a great guy.
16 years ago. And Ralph Lauren dressed you to give an award out?
Yeah.
Wow,
the good old days. And we had to give it back. Didn't get to keep it, but
that's shit.
It was nice. I was just so worried that I wouldn't get into a 32-inch waist in those days.
Oh, brilliant, man. Okay, so let's talk about Carol Smiley. She's a part of your history, but you knew her before the TV stuff, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
We used to work in a bar together, and if you're familiar with the Social or Kong in Royal Exchange Square, that was Charlie Parker's, and above it was a pub, a nightclub called Pizzazz.
Right.
Very 80s. And she and I worked in Pizzazz together, and we just got on really well. And then I went to London. She was doing a lot of modelling. And when I was putting the Wheel of Fortune set into the Scottish Television Studios, I looked up, and who was walking down the stairs was the new Wheel of Fortune girl, the lovely Carol Smiley.
No way.
So we bumped into each other again. And then she was doing a fashion program called Get It On, and they were looking for a male presenter. So I put myself up for that, and I got it. And 3 weeks later, I was in Milan with Naomi Campbell and Claudia Schiffer and interviewing them.
Lovely.
And she said, I'm going to be doing this show called Changing Rooms. I think you should go up for it because you can present. You're an interior designer. I think you should go for it. But at that time, I'd just been offered 3 Taggarts, which is like 2.5 years' work.
Okay.
I thought, I've not worked this hard to do this. So I said I wouldn't do it. So I ended up doing a daytime show instead, which was easier to manage, called Change That. It was a bit like, do you know the repair shop that's on just now? It was a bit like that.
Yeah.
Mark Curry presented. It was a morning show. And then the producer of that moved to ITV and was developing a new show. This was about 2 years later, called Better Homes, with a different Carol Vorderman.
Okay.
And Nigel got in touch with me and asked me if I would do that. And you know what? I think I do love changing rooms. I love the creativity and the fact of how you can change things, you know, with a tight time scale and a limited budget for maximum effect. But that wasn't really what I did. I'm more to do with longevity.
Yeah.
So Better Homes was a better fit for me. And then that became 60 Minute Makeover. And I did that for 16, nearly 18 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Some of them have still got hair.
I used to love these programs. I used to watch them all.
Yeah.
So good, man.
Everybody loved the before and after.
Yeah.
It was, and in each hour you got 4 before and afters. It was a great show. Just quite expensive to make. I don't think they would make it now. But and did you know what the nice thing about it? All of the people that we did the show for were people whose lives were really changed by having these interiors done for them. They could never, ever, ever have afforded those life-changing interiors. And it was more than just a rug and some cushions. It was life-changing for them. Very, very emotional. Very, very rewarding.
Yeah, I bet you felt on an emotional journey with these families.
Crying all the time.
And then, honestly speaking, did you actually do it in 1 hour?
Yep.
Really? You had to?
We actually had the Guinness Book of Records out following us, and we still hold the Guinness Book of Records for the fastest complete interior design makeover. And that, of course, that was about maybe 18 years ago, 16 years ago. Yes, it was all filmed in 2 half-hour blocks. Right. So I'd clearly been there before. I'd measured it. So say I'd been here and this room was empty, I would have had a list of everything I needed, and it'd be sitting outside in a van. Like the rug would be ready to go down. The wallpaper's all cut to size. The curtains were on the pole, ready to go on the wall. So all the time-saving things, but it did happen in 2 half-hour blocks.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive.
It was.
Did you ever have a meltdown with anyone if they were holding you up?
Constantly.
Hi.
And you can't swear on daytime TV. So you would, do you know, it got to the point where we had it down pat, but it lost that jeopardy moment of, oh, they're not going to finish it. They're not going to finish it. So they would sometimes throw a spanner in the works. Like somebody would maybe spill a tin of paint or say they couldn't find the wallpaper to give me a bit of jeopardy. So I would have a real designer flounce, a right tantrum.
Lovely.
But no, we did do some. I mean, I was doing. I think I must have the Guinness Book of Records for the most interior design makeovers ever, because I was doing 4 a week with 4 makeovers. That was 16 a week. Wow. And I was doing it for maybe 30 weeks a year, and I did it for at least 12 years at that pace. Aye. So I mean, I was and trying to come up with something different all the time.
That's tough, man. But people don't see that.
No.
The amount of actual physical work that you're putting in.
There's a lot of work, a lot of coordination, lots of great tradesmen. I'm still friendly with a lot of them. Yeah, good times. Very good.
You ever get these tradesmen to do homeworks for you?
Well, because a lot of the work I did was down south, they worked in their own regions. But I've had my own decorators and joiners and painters, and I like to keep, because I'm only as good as the trades that I work with, and that's why with things like Scottish Home Improvement Awards that I'm working with, and we're doing a very exciting podcast coming soon as well. Not in any competition to you, very good competition here. It's recognising those trades that make it happen, because I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have good guys with me.
Yeah. Speaking of tradesmen, what have you seen has changed the most? The way people do things, like the way people painted back then versus now. Back then, is small rollers. Now you can get rollers that are like this long. So what's the most wow thing that you've seen change over time in trades?
I think it's more to do with the materials we use rather than the actual trades, because the tradesmen that I use still generally paint in an old traditional way. But with water-based paints that perform like oil-based paints that are not harmful to the environment, wide width wallpapers, vinyl flooring that looks like solid wood flooring. The technology of the materials we're using has made things a little bit easier. But I would say, a good tradesman, a good painter, a good decorator, a good electrician, a good joiner, they're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. And if they find that out, they'll be charging you as much.
Yeah, I always negotiate the rate first. If any of them say, I need to charge a bit more, and I'll say, Well, it was actually performance related, and I'm a bit disappointed.
Nice caveat in there. Before we move on to the next sort of topic, do you remember like the biggest reaction that you got from doing a makeover? Is there any that stand out?
Do you know, a lot of every one of them was very emotional because, as I say, they were life changing. But I would say, I can't remember the family's name, but it was two boys who were the same age as me, and their mum sadly had MS. And what we managed to do was turn her bedroom into, she wasn't going to get any better, and basically they wanted to keep her at home, so the bedroom had to perform like a hospital ward. So I had to find materials that would perform, that could be cleaned, that could be serviced, that could not, that wouldn't cause any disease, had to be easily cleaned. And by doing that research for that woman's bedroom, and she couldn't speak, but her sons just said, you don't know, this is all she sees every day, and all she has seen every day for the last 2 years. And what we've done, you could see it in her face, just looking around. And I thought it might just be on the scale of it, wall covering, flooring, colours, but it changed her world, and it changed her everyday life.
Yeah.
And for me, I would say that was the most rewarding. I was more upset than her sons. I was so happy for them.
Aye.
And it was a privilege being able to do it.
Yeah. But we have a saying, well, not a saying in our culture, that if you do something for people, then they remember you in their prayers. So they help you get far in life. Those sort of good deeds.
Yeah.
So, which is brilliant. Right, we're going to talk a bit about celebrities, because you've worked with lots of celebrities. Being one yourself, obviously, since I call you the A-lister that I know now. So you work with people like Carol Vorderman, Carol Smiley, Claire Sweeney, Terry Dwyer, Peter Andre, and much more. Out of all the people you've worked with, who have you clicked with immediately?
Peter Andre.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say that. So you have spoken about him highly. So what is he? I know we've all seen his reality shows, but what is he like when the cameras are not on?
Exactly the same, if not even more sincere.
Aye.
I think most people think because he comes across as being a genuinely lovely guy, they think it's too good to be true. And I know that in the TV and film industry, there are a lot of people that aren't what they appear. But Peter Andre is everything and more. He's a genuine, kind, caring, thoughtful person. And I still keep in touch with him to this day. I had such a good laugh with him doing it. He's great to work with, so professional. Everybody loved him. And I can't speak highly enough of him. Carol Smiley also has been a very close friend for many, many years. And, well, she actually married me as well.
Aye.
But not the way she wanted. She was my celebrant.
Right. That's brilliant.
Because that's what she does now. She's fantastic.
Aye.
And she, again, very genuine, very honest. What you see is what you get. Totally professional. Yeah. Anna Ryder Richardson. Do you remember the crazy lady from Changing Rooms?
Yeah.
Who put the leopard skin pants in her frame?
Yeah.
Still a very good friend. And her daughters are like nieces to me. They're like family.
Yeah.
So but when you think about it, when you're away doing these shows, and I would go away maybe on a Sunday night, not back till a Friday, you were like a circus coming to town. So you were in a little group of people, and they became like family. And I think once you've, especially when we were younger growing up, especially Anna and I, we've been on holiday together, we shared a flat together. Just genuine, lovely people. But top of the list, if I was to pick one, probably Peter Andre. Close second, Carol Smiley. Close third, Anna Ryder Richardson.
Aye, they're all close. I'll make them feel better.
I know, I have to say that.
Aye. I was going to actually say to you, but it might be unfair to talk about it, because when the whole Peter Andre and Jordan stuff was going on, everybody was glued to the TVs and everybody picked a team. And we all picked Team Peter because of how you could see he was sincere. And then there was another camp that would say, "Oh, but it's all an act. It's all an act. It's too good to be true." Like what you're saying, but actually, just a normal guy, and he was always famous himself from the start. So what would he hope to gain? You know, do you ever sing his songs to him?
I tend not to sing to him because he gets jealous of my vocal range. I actually was his body double in Material Girl. Mysterious Girl, sorry. No, I'm joking. Do you know what's funny though? Because I designed a show called It's Not Just Saturday for Scottish Television with Danny Minogue and Gareth Jones. They presented it. And Peter Andre came up to sing that song because it was number one at the time. So I knew him and I met him, although I wouldn't really have much to do with him because I was set designing and he was performing.
Yeah.
But even then you could tell, you know, with all the screaming fans that were there. And, you know, like I used to host Miss Scotland every year and I loved doing it. And one year Peter came up to sing the famous song for our new Miss Scotland and Katie Price was with him, but I really didn't have very much to do with her because she didn't really want anything to do with anybody else, whereas Peter was in with everybody and so endearing. And I think if you look at the two personalities now, I think you know who you'd rather have a cup of tea with.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave that there. Have you ever... So we're talking about on camera and off camera. Has anyone ever surprised you how different they were off camera? I know you're still in the show business, so you might not be able to say.
Yes.
You can tell me later, right? Okay, so see, after decades of being around TV, is television, is what you see all more or less real, or is it all...
I just think even reality TV isn't real anymore because, and you'll hear it from anybody who has been misquoted or has a gripe, they'll say, I was edited wrongly. Because Big Brother is literally watching you and can create anything. They could take, well, if you had to condense our conversation into 5 minutes, it's down to you as to what we said. You could pick out 3 things and it might not be representative of how we've spent the last hour. So I'm a little bit wary of things like that. I tend not to watch an awful lot of reality TV shows because of that. I prefer to watch things like natural world documentaries. My favourite documentary is My Octopus Teacher, about the guy who befriends an octopus.
What?
I've watched it about...
What the hell?
And see, even if I'm on holiday and you're in a restaurant and someone's eating an octopus, I could flip my bin lid. I'd go bananas because they're so intelligent.
Aye.
And I don't care if you tell me they're delicious.
Well, I've never
They
octopus.
should... No, so watch it. It's so good. My Octopus Teacher. Lovely. I might watch it when I go home.
That's mad. So you must... Have you ever done research on octopuses then?
I have since that. And there's a guy on Instagram just now. Not that I do an awful lot on Instagram. And he's got an octopus called Stevie Nicks. And Stevie Nicks comes out and crawls up her hand. I mean, it's an acquired thing. I mean, it's not like a bunny. You're not going, oh, my little octopus, I love you. Oh. But their intelligence is just unbelievable.
Aye. Wow. Okay. All I know is they fire out ink.
They do, and they've got a beak.
I didn't know that.
They've got a little beak at the top. See if you're ever on the beach and you see a shell and it's got a tiny little hole in it. That's possibly from the octopus going on top of the shell, and the beak will pierce through and inject into the muscle of inside the muscle and inject it and then digest the contents through. So sometimes if you see a little pinhole, that's an octopus bite.
Dead body.
I'll tell you, I bet you didn't know you were going to learn that tonight.
No, the last thing I thought. The only thing I've seen about octopus is that film. You probably, I don't know if you've seen it, but this guy's in jail for a long time, and then he comes out and he meets a girl, and it's quite a cult film, and turns out things happen, but the girl's actually his daughter, but he never knew. But it's a Chinese film, and he's got a scene where he eats a squid, and the squid tentacles are going all over his face while he's just devouring it. Disgusting.
See, squids are different. Squids are still intelligent, but no, it's half as intelligent as an octopus.
Oh, all right, the different things.
Yes,
Oh, I'm getting educated here.
I tell you. And if you want any information on the fact sheet,
Hey, okay, we'll move on from octopus, right? So, John Amabile, you're on TV, you're decorating stuff, you're doing changing rooms, you're, big on TV. When did you realise, and this is before social media, but when did you occur to you people watch these shows not because of just the makeovers, because they like your personality, they're engaged with you?
what if they don't? Do you know, I think I've been lucky that I've appealed. The things, I've never given up my day job. I may be able to present and host. I used to do a lot of hosting, events, ladies' lunches, award ceremonies. But I've never given up my day job. I've always been a designer. And I do still see my job very much into the realms of making how you live at home better.
Okay.
It could be the layout of the room, the colour of the room, the position of the room, the heat in the room, where the room is in the house. I've always liked to be able to share that with people. But for them, I'm not there just to jump about and say, I'm right and you're wrong. I like to see people's creativity and help them develop it, like the design school. I'm not asking people to come along to listen to me pontificating about how I've designed this and you should be doing that. I like to hear what, like in this room, tell me the story about where the chair came from, where was the starting point, what do you think's missing from the room, what do you think would be the next job you would do here? I'm more fascinated in that now, and I think I can be even more of a help because we're totally bewildered with the amount of influences. From Pinterest to TikTok to this is the new thing to AI changing, your grand's button Ben in Dundee into the Buckingham Palace. Do you know, I'd like to think I'm here to help steer you through all of that. And also, you can waste a lot of money getting it wrong. So I'd like to think that I'm there to help you avoid making expensive mistakes and equally letting you see where you have spent your money, because people like to show off, don't they?
Yeah, I know there's been some times when my wife's picked certain tiles and they're all done, and then after a week she's like, I just don't like them, and just got them done again. I goes, crazy.
I know. It's very hard to visualize, and that's why I always have like a few tricks and key ways in which you can look at how the whole room will look. And again, it's like research. You just have to make sure when you see a tile that you see it in reality.
Yes.
If you can, get a sample and have a look to see how it looks in other people's homes. Let other people try it out first, and then you decide what's best.
I like that. After this, I'm going to show you my kitchen, right? Because we got it all designed exactly as she wanted. Now, she knew more about the kitchen than the builders when it came to fitting it. But the tiles came in, she just doesn't like them. So we'll get your opinion on it. Yeah.
This is the other thing as well. If I'm working with couples, it's sometimes more like relationship guidance. And I have to, and the amount of people will say, before you go in, can you make sure you say you like these because it was my choice? Say before you go in, could you make sure that you like these? It's finding the common ground for people as well.
Yeah. Well, you can be honest as you want, honestly.
I am very honest. But, I'm not there to slag anybody off. If that's what you like and that, it might not be my taste and I might have to say, I wouldn't have done that, but well done you. How very brave.
Very brave. Oh, I love it, John. Okay, now I've got written down here, you've told a brilliant story about someone in Brazil contacting you after watching an old syndicated episode. So can you tell us that story?
Do you know, it's amazing because ITV sold that show. It's like everything now. It's called waiving all moral rights in your contracts. It doesn't mean to say you don't have no morals anymore. It just means that you have no ownership of your own part of that show. It can be sold anywhere. So I got an email from a woman in Brazil who translated a text to me to say that I was her favourite designer and she'd watched all of my shows, and if I was ever in Brazil, would I please come and do her home? I said, send me a first class plane ticket, I'll be there tomorrow. Absolutely.
Aye.
But do you know, it's amazing how being part of interior design shows that were quite revolutionary at the time and kind of set the standard, how well people recognise me and remember me. I was sitting on a beach and I forgot my swimming trunks. Where was I? think I was up in Luscantyre,
Right.
up north. I thought, who'll see me here? There's nobody here. It was going into spring. It wasn't even that warm, but I thought, I'm just going to lie in my pants, get a bit of sun in my body. And I just pulled my shorts off, taken my vest off, and I was lying in my pants, not even my good pants. It was just my everyday pants. And I heard somebody say, are you John Amabile off 60 Minute Makeover? What are you doing up here? I'm like, oh, Jesus, my pants.
Oh no.
So it's nice to be recognised, but maybe not in your pants up north. But I was in Dallas Airport once, and this woman went, hey, are you that guy are you John Amabile from Scottish television fame doing the interior design? We love you. You're my wife's favourite.
What an accent.
Tell me in cash.
Bloody hell, man. So what is it like getting recognised everywhere?
Well, it's not as much as it used to be, but it is nice because usually it's a very fond memory, or I've inspired them to do something, or they say, oh, why don't you do that anymore? And you've not been on TV for a while. What are you doing now? So it's lovely. I think if somebody came up and punched me in the face and said, I hate you, and you made my wife spend a fortune on a couch that I didn't want, might not be so keen on that. But luckily, touch wood, that's not happened.
Oh, well, that would be sad. All right, moving on to business, money, design. So, John Amabile Design, when did that become a serious business for you?
Probably maybe 2 years into 60 Minute Makeover. So that would be about maybe 22 years ago. And I hadn't had my own design consultancy because I'd been a set designer, and then I was doing all the stuff on TV. And people used to say, do you know, I love what you do on screen. Do you have your own design consultancy? And because I was on screen as well, you got a little bit of publicity. So I used to do a lot of show homes for builders because they could say as designed by John Amabile.
Of course.
So we did show homes. So I think that's probably when it started. And it's a huge, big responsibility because there's a place in London called Chelsea Harbour where every new collection of any interior design or manufacture of wallpaper fabrics, they're all there. So I've got to make sure that if you came to me and said, John, I want this, I've seen this, I know what it's about. But equally, every year there's a new collection being brought out. So you've got to keep ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So that probably, it was more requests as to how can people get me physically in their home to make their interiors better or to help sell their show homes. So, and one of the best jobs I did over the last 10 years would be in Glasgow, Park Quadrant, which was the missing part of Park Circus.
Yeah.
And every designer in Glasgow wanted to do the job, and luckily I got it.
Yeah.
So I got to design all of the show flats and met most of the people who have all the amazing apartments there. And it was an amazing job, great tradesmen, great clients. And I mean, I did that job probably for about 6-7 years.
Aye. Would you say
start to finish?
Is that your biggest sort of gig you've got, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest domestic residential project. I mean, I've worked in hotels with 30, 40, 50 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the same because they're all the same, really.
Yeah.
Whereas, there's probably about maybe 50 clients that all wanted something different.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, brilliant. I was going to ask you that's one of the biggest things that you've done. What's the most expensive property you've ever designed?
that's a good question. I think it was probably Abu Dhabi International Airport, the shops there, because it was almost jewel encrusted.
Aye.
It was bling before there was bling.
Yeah.
It was bling before Dubai was even the bling capital of the world.
Aye.
Abu Dhabi was out there, and I was very, very proud of it.
Yeah. Do you ever go there? Did they ever put anything up there to say who designed anything? Have you got your name anywhere on projects you've done? Did they do that?
No, not really, no. I suppose with ChatGPT you could say who designed that now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, rather than have a plaque on the wall, I'm probably noted somewhere as having something to do with it.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that one, because it was like the inside. This was the original one. It's been done up since. There's a new one now. And it was like the inside of a donut. To imagine that tunnel that went round inside. So the inside came down and all the shops were round the pastry bit in the middle. It's the only way I can explain it. But that was all tiled and bejeweled. It was amazing. It was fantastic.
Nice. And do you think, can money buy taste?
I think it can buy you perhaps a better quality of a product, but it doesn't mean to say that that product is the right choice or indeed tasteful. Yeah.
Tasteful. One of the things that I'm sure you've been quoted as saying is interior design involves a lot of psychology. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Well, I think if you remember, like we all do, when we were going through COVID and we were literally inside our own four walls, there was nothing else to do but look at those four walls. And I think it made us look about that interior and think, what is really important to how I live? And I think that's changed the design industry a little bit as well. But I call it, you should give your home a hug. You should hug your home, let your home hug you, because we do spend all of our time, most of our time, bring up your families, you sleep, you live, you eat, you entertain. It's one of the most important spaces that we have. And even going back to cavemen days, was your cave easy to protect, wind and watertight. I always call it, like we've all still got our own little caves. But I think the psychology of how we live has changed, and it's not so much about showing off. Yeah. It's about how you enjoy where you live. Yeah. And I certainly adhere to that. If I'm working for somebody and they want to have a really impressive room, and I'll say, this can look amazing, but what do you want to do in there? Do you want to say to people, come in, relax, please don't touch anything? Or do you want them to come in and be relaxed, have a biscuit, a cup of coffee, and have a nice time? Yeah. Where they'll even go, God, what a gorgeous room. I was so comfortable there. I sat there all afternoon and went, I was so scared to touch anything in case it broke. No.
I love it. Right, so I want to bring this conversation into my sort of world, right, when it comes to food. So I want to talk about restaurants. So you must walk into a lot of restaurants and you must, feel if something looks premium or if the food's good, does that make up for things? What's your thoughts on restaurants?
I am a great believer of, I think when you walk, you eat with your eyes first and foremost. My friend Susan, I've been friendly with for 40 odd years, is a terrible cook, but she makes the room and makes the table look spectacular. Right. So she can be forgiven sometimes for the food being less than fabulous. I think the food
Yeah.
has to be good, or you wouldn't go back. But I think the environment in which you're enjoying that food, and it doesn't have to be all fancy. It could be the staff who just give you a lovely warm welcome.
Yeah.
That it's clean, it's tidy, the service is fantastic, it's comfortable. You don't have to be sitting in the Ritz. If you had the same Eggs Benedict in the Ritz as you had in the cafe around the corner, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Does it make, apart from the price difference as well, sometimes you're paying for the decor,
Yeah.
which I don't really like to think about. I like a nice environment, but for me, the food is the most important thing.
And what's the biggest design mistake you think restaurants make?
I think,
If any, that is.
that's a great question. Mistakes. I think it always used to be trying to cram in too many tables to get their heads up, and I know that it's all about making money, but I think less tables, better service will give you more repeat custom.
Yeah.
I would say that could be a big mistake. And also just stick to what you know. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And so what places do you like going to in Glasgow for food?
Gosh.
Curious to know where you eat.
What I eat.
Where and what?
Well, because I'm usually always on a diet and I do love my food, when I eat, I like to eat well. And what I've been doing for the last couple of years is I'm really into meat.
Meat? Okay, good.
I'm a lion. I eat animals. I'm sorry, I eat animals.
Yeah.
I just think I'm following a guy on Instagram called Eddie Abu, Abbew.
Oh, I've heard of this guy. I've seen his things.
He's probably known for going into supermarkets and telling you everything's effing crap because of all the preservatives and additives in all the food just now.
Yep.
Eating clean and not necessarily lean. I've never eaten so much fat, which I was always taught to cut off because it wasn't good for you. But a good fat is really good for you. And last year I fat adapted for 4 months and lost 3 stones and felt fantastic.
Wow.
So I like to go, long way around to tell you. I do like porter and rye. I like the Spanish butcher.
Yep.
I like the butcher shop. Do you see the theme?
Yeah.
I think I'd like to have been a butcher.
Have you not tried Steak Lounge and Grill?
No.
Because they get their steaks from the same place as Spanish Butcher. And they're in the quay. And they look after you if you go there.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I phone them.
You tell them.
Big A-listers coming through.
You just say, and John, he's a big eater. Slice it thick.
Actually, speaking of meat, there's a guy on Instagram and TikTok called Amin Sheikh. He's got Fire and Smoke in Hamilton. Probably one of very few people that do the big, low and slow barbecue, Texas style meat trays. Big tray full of ribs, turkey, make their own sausages, their own, what else is there? Brisket. It's a big tray and it
Were
comes.
you there recently?
I've been there recently.
Yeah, I saw you wolfing the ribs.
But trust me, man, you'll love that. If you like meat, you will love that. All the fat on it.
Yeah.
You enjoy.
It's funny because it's everything that I always fought against. I didn't like fat when I was growing up because kids don't like it. And then you were taught to cut the fat off because it was so fatty and not good calories. And then you find all the years later that it was actually quite good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be like sticking my head in a bucket of lard and drinking it. But I just, and it's, when I think back to, even when I did the show Dr. Finlay, which was set in 1939, which to recreate butcher shops. Butcher shops, I don't know if you've watched, going to be controversial now, have you watched Mo Gilligan's documentary on Netflix, Big chicken.
Oh, I've seen that. I've not put it on yet because I don't want to get put off chicken.
You will be put off chicken.
Oh.
I'm only going to eat organic free-range chicken from now on.
Oh.
And I'll say no more. It's my personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just almost shocked because I used to be a big KFC fan.
Oh my God.
Big KFC fan. I'm no longer a fried chicken fan from these places.
Oh, gross.
Sorry.
So tell me, I'm going to have to get a takeaway out of you. Have you ever ate a smash burger or a munchie box anywhere? You ate anything?
Do you know, I've always fancied them, but no.
Pizza?
Pizza, yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind a good, authentic, with a really good dough and just not too. I'm not into messing about with pizzas. I just like them Italian.
Don't say paisano.
I've never tried Pisano.
Good. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
It's just floppy chapatis with sauce on it.
Oh, is
The
it?
Neapolitan style.
No.
You want New York style, like Frank's, Sears, Errol's. Good pizzas.
I think for the next week you should take me out to dinner every night so that I can just try all these things.
So many places.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I should go out more and try more. I do love Indian food and, I go to Goa every year and spend 2 months nearly just living on fabulous, authentic Asian culture, curries. I just love it. And I prefer that to the sort of, I didn't think I would, but I prefer that to the British version of it when you taste the authentic spices.
Yeah, that is a bit different.
Oh, amazing.
So favourite curry then in Glasgow?
Gosh. I've not tried Dishoom yet. Everyone's
Way
talking
overpriced.
about. Is it?
Way overpriced. Glasgow's more expensive than Edinburgh.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's ticking all the boxes. It's all over Instagram. You know what you're buying, the advert or the food.
You ever go to Edinburgh?
Not really. No, I'm a West Coast boy.
Well, I'll line you up with a few places to go, and they'll look after you.
You line them up. I promise you. I'll report.
Loads of places. We'll send you in as a secret reviewer. You know. I will do a food review together. We'll get you involved.
Fabulous. I did a food review as a secret eater years ago, and I think it was the best 6 weeks of my life.
Good. I can picture it. Imagine getting all that on camera now. You're just having your way with everyone. Yeah. So let's talk about your design school.
Yes.
Your new venture. Tell us how to get involved. What is the ethos behind it? What do you hope to achieve with it?
Well, it was born from people, I think, coming out of COVID, and I wanted to make sure that if they didn't, a lot of people are quite wary of spending money on a designer because they think with what they'll spend on a design fee, I could have maybe had my curtains or a sofa or something.
Yep.
Because you are buying a designer's time. So this really, and what became very obvious from the first design school is that people had their own ideas but didn't know how to pull it all together. So on my website, johnamabiledesign.com, at the Design School tab, you'll see everything you need to know about what to bring along, what to do, how I can help you devise the perfect way ahead. And it could be from building an extension to changing the function of a room to working with a kitchen designer to simply re-renovating a couple of rooms in your home. But basically it's a 3-hour session where there's only 20 people per session, so you get time with me, and I take it from planning to costing, budgeting, sourcing, to make sure that you get the right balance at the end. And the final part, a lot of people will bring along maybe like a wallpaper and a piece of fabric, and they'll say, how does this go? And I'll say, well, if we do this with this, that makes that work better. So I help them divulge and take their design dream and make it a reality. So it was really born from me helping. Yeah, I'm still doing private clients. So if anybody wants the full Monty, yes, I can still do a design service for you. But I just thought this is more affordable. It helps people focus their thoughts and helps them be the designer in their home. And I think sometimes it's nice of people to say, I created this myself, and I want to give them the confidence to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So there's another 2 coming up. You can get the details on the website. And it was great fun. I actually felt so giddy at the end of it because I never thought it would be so much fun. So I actually feel I'm confident in what I was thinking about now.
Yeah.
And I just found it totally rewarding. So I'm only going to do another 2 this year, and then we'll launch the school for next year, and you can buy a gift voucher. So say you think you don't know what to get somebody for Christmas, but you're thinking of planning a room, get them a ticket for the design school.
Nice.
Because it'll be money well spent.
So that's good. So in a way, you've evolved your brand and what you can offer, so many people can experience it, and I think it's brilliant.
I'm enjoying it, and a couple of businesses have come to me as well. There's a little restaurant that wants they've got these chairs from another job. They got these tables at auction. How could they pull it all together? I'd love to help them with that, and I did. Small Airbnbs, small hotels. Not done a butcher shop yet, though.
Probably
or
better
an
if you
octopus zoo.
Octopus zoo. I can think of so many people that have got brands, whether it's restaurants, fast food, and even more into property now, that you could do consultancy.
Do you know, it's a facility. Think of it as a service and not a luxury. I'm there to make your product and your business stand out and work.
Yeah. No, 100%. I can think of people already. And
sadly, there's absolutely no commission on anyone you bring to me.
No, I don't work on commission.
You can help me eat at the restaurant to say thank you.
I'm happy with things like that. Yeah. Just doing the right thing.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm doing it as well. I mean, I'm 62 now. I've been designing for 40 years. I've had a fantastic run at it, and I'm still enjoying it. I'll never give up designing. I love doing it. It's my passion. I'll never stop. I might not do as many projects, but I'll never retire. I'll never give it up, because if I can help somebody create a better environment to sell, to eat, to sleep, to play in, then that's what I'm here for. Yeah,
brilliant. Love to hear it. Before we wrap up, how would you like to be remembered by, or how would you like to be remembered? Your legacy?
I think I would like people to say, by listening or watching me create interiors, it inspired them to have a better home, to have a better life.
Yeah.
And if at the end of the day, not like, oh, John made me spend £10,000 on those diamond encrusted curtains. If they said, do you know what, by listening to John, I managed to do this on budget. I've still got budget to do the rest of the house, spend with the family. But I absolutely love my home. I love my home life.
And see, if you could sit in front of a 20-year-old John Amabile, what would you say to him if you have to give him some advice?
Don't eat so much. Exercise a bit more. I think business-wise, I'd probably say go with your instinct more and trust yourself a bit more.
Yeah.
And don't overthink things, because I think a lot of people in today's world, we all live inside our heads too much, and you could have killed a creative project in your head before you've even started by putting yourself down thinking, I can't really do that. I won't be able to do that, or I won't have the budget for that, or people think I'm stupid if I do that. But if you stick to your instincts and get some good support and advice on all fronts. So I would probably say that. But I have been lucky. I have worked hard for it, and I've moved about a lot. I've sacrificed a lot, but it's all been worth it.
Yeah, Brilliant. So before we wrap up, can you tell everyone how they can get a hold of you or find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at John Amabile Design. You can find me on my website, johnaMabileDesign.com. Facebook is John Amabile Design. And the contact hello at John Amabile Design comes straight to me.com because I'm international. But whether it's a question you want to ask me on Instagram or in reply to one of my posts or reels or whatever you call them these days, I've just worked out the difference between a reel and a story. I'm here to help on whatever format you need to find me at.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Appreciate someone like yourself coming to spend time with me.
I've had an absolute ball, and I'm on the south side tonight.
Love it. Brilliant. Okay, guys, that's a wrap on today's episode of a Judge Reviews podcast. Big love to the sponsors keeping the show alive: Steak Lounge and Grill, Figo's, Halal Kebab House, Three Brothers, and Uberlets. Your support lets us keep shining a light on the people shaping Scotland's future. I'm Jay from the Judge Reviews, and I'll see you in the next episode.